In a situation, let's think about who the audience is and what is the impression that you're going to make. What do they need to know? And what do you need to do? And as you are completing the worksheet, we're going to conclude this section of our communication skills training courses, because this is the power of a first impression. Remember that you always have to know the impression that you're going to make, understand that perception is reality, and learn to change your own perspective and look at yourself and look at the things that you are doing to make sure that you are actually creating the impression that you're looking for. Because image is everything, and you really need to take a step back and understand first impressions count, and you get less than 30 seconds to do it. Have you ever said to someone, "You aren't listening to me. You haven't heard what I've said to you. This is what I really want, but you aren't hearing me"? I know I've said that many times. You aren't listening to me. Well, maybe it isn't that the person's not listening to you. Maybe it's that you're not conveying the information correctly. Because how you put it out there, what you say, has a tremendous amount to do with how people will receive it. We do a lot of things in the course of a day, in the course of our lives. We ask people for lots of different kinds of things to make our lives better. And if we're not clear on what we are asking for, we will oftentimes not get it. So the 4 C's that we're going to talk about today are how to be clear, concise, creative, and consistent. Because these are the 4 things that will definitely help you get your point across. And communication is an interesting part of our lives because it's everything about us. And most of the time we talk about external communication, what we're saying to someone else. But our ability to really communicate well begins with how we talk to ourselves. You know, you think about people who go in for a job interview and they have this conversation with themselves that say, "I'm never going to get the job." Or it's time for someone to get a promotion in a company and they say, "I'm never going to get this job. I'm never going to get the promotion. They're never going to give me a raise." All of those things contribute to your ability to communicate effectively because you're saying things to yourself that either decrease your self-esteem and your confidence, and you're not able to actually go forward and look at someone and say, "This is what I really would like you to do." So the first exercise we're going to do today is all about you. Let's think about you. Let's think about who you are. And if you turn to the next page, you will see that it says, it's all about you and the conversation you're having with yourself. Let's look at the things that are good about you because you have to have a positive conversation with yourself. List the 2 physical attributes, the 2 personality traits, and 1 talent that you have that will give you confidence and that will help you have a great conversation with yourself. What's great about you? Because when you walk through that door to have the conversation, to interview for the job, to give your thesis, to do anything that you're going to do, what is it? How will you build up your own self-esteem and your own self-confidence by focusing on the things that are good about you? There are so many things that you can say. Beautiful hair, eyes, a great smile, good teeth, I'm tall, I'm energetic. You know, what are all of the good things about you? Good communication begins with positive internal communication. Many of you may have read The Secret. Some of the self-help books that are out there, the motivational books that talk all about how you attract things, how you think positively about what's going on around you. So who would like to share some of their positive thoughts?
I put that I believe I have a nice smile and I usually dress professional.
Okay. Anything else?
For personality qualities, I put that I have a good humor. And one talent I have is that I'm a pretty good writer.
That's great. I see you two are writing furiously. Tell me what's great about you.
I put for the physical attributes, my eyes, and for personal qualities, I put considerate and serious. And my talent, I put I'm bilingual.
Okay, your eyes and you're serious.
Okay, for the physical attributes, I put great smile. And then for the personality, I put that I'm a hard worker.
Okay.
And one talent, quick learner.
What was the last thing?
A quick learner.
Quick learner, okay. See, all of those things are very positive. So when you're going into any situation, you're going to have this positive thought about yourself, because what you want to do then is to either ask a question, pose a situation, tell someone how wonderful you are. Now, we talked about the art of listening, because in this whole process of having clear, concise, creative, and consistent communication, you need to listen. You need to listen to the person who's on the other side of the table. You need to listen to what's happening and be an active listener. Know what it is that's going on around you and what's happening, so that as you define what it is that you want to convey, you can do that much more easily. You're having a positive conversation with yourself. You are listening and you're very aware of what's going on around you. If you're sitting in a meeting with someone and you're interviewing for a job, or you're talking about that resident assistance, what is the person saying to you? Be a very active listener. Pay attention, because when we get to this next part, which is how to be clear in what you're saying, you will have a lot of ammunition to be able to do it. Be clear. Never make an assumption that somebody knows and understands what you're looking for, because they don't. In fact, there's a wonderful book out there called The 4 Agreements. And among the 4 things that we should agree to in life is to make no assumptions. Don't assume. You know, one of the examples I always give is, it's your birthday, and a friend says to you, what would you like me to do? How can we celebrate your birthday? And you say, oh, well, surprise me. Well, they don't know what to do for you, so they do nothing. So you are surprised, but not exactly with the thing that you wanted. So be clear. Think about, what is it that I really want to be happening here? What do I want? What's the end result? It's like having a goal, but it's a short-term goal. Here's an example. There are a lot of customer service departments out there. Let's say your cable goes out, and you call the customer service department and you say, my cable has been out for the last 2 days, and I'm paying you $150 a month for all of this cable service. What are you going to do about it? And the customer service rep says to you, what do you want me to do about it? And the only response you have is, well, I'm not sure. Well, if you're not sure and you're not clear on what you want to have happen, do you think anything is going to happen? They're going to offer you something that's not going to satisfy you, and you're going to walk away unhappy. So the idea is to go to the table with a clear idea of what it is exactly that you want to have happen. So in that situation, you would be able to say to the customer service representative, I want you to give me 2 days of credit against my bill. Now, they then will either say, yes, I can do that, or no, I can't. But you're very clear on what you want to have happen. In relationships with people, husbands, spouses, friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever it might be, oftentimes there's a disagreement on, what are we going to do tonight? Where are we going to go? Well, what do you want to do? Well, I don't know. What do you want to do? So the idea is that you come to the table always with a clear understanding of what you want. If it is in a business situation, you come to the table, it's a negotiating skill. This is what I would like to have happen today. So that the other person to whom you're communicating has a clear idea of how to respond. Okay? So what is your goal? What is it that you would like to have happen? What kind of a situation are you in right now that you are saying, I'm not really being heard? What do you want to have happen? Write it down, because we're going to think about the different steps.